What fact are you just tired of explaining to people? Everything is made of chemicals. Not everything natural is good and not everything man-made is bad. Yes, snake venom and crude oil are both completely natural. Asbestos too. Antibiotics will not help your virus. Even if you feel really crappy. Not to mention, take the entire dose, don't save half. That's how you train bacteria to be resistant. You super-educated, master's or doctoral degrees in science, idiots. I had a dog bite that got infected and the nurse had to emphasize to take the whole bottle of antibiotics to me. I assume it was out of habit because she said it once, I said okay, and she said it again. I was like okay. I guess some people don't and have to go back. After the third time, the best possible follow-up question would be, so what should I do with the extra pills? That probably would have set this poor lady off. I'm sure someone has asked her that 1,000 times. I need her effing identification information because we are at a bank. I don't care who you say you aren't the person you're claiming to be until I have proof. You can't just walk into the bank, ask for $10K and not expect to be verified. Stop giving me a hard time for protecting your money for you. Wait, people actually do this? How stupid do you have to be to expect the bank to just give you money? I would fucking hope they ask me for ID, I would be mad if they didn't. Tax brackets. No, Jenny, making an extra $5K does not mean the other $50,000 gets taxed at a higher rate. Only money in the higher bracket gets taxed at that rate, not all previous money. Added after a number of replies, I will mention the benefits issue where, unlike taxes, sometimes making too much money can screw you. Be it healthcare, housing, $1,000 difference could result in a massive increase in costs. Most such things are all or nothing, unlike taxes. I got a temp job in accounts receivable when I was fresh out of college, and I remember the director of the department telling me it was better to stay a temp than get hired on full-time because my raise would mean I paid more taxes. I was baffled. She had a degree in accounting. She knew, just hoped you didn't. The difference between type 1 and 2 diabetes, two completely different diseases. Being a healthcare worker and sometimes even having to explain it to my coworkers is tiring. Apostrophes don't make words plural. You mean apostrophes? My trivia team name is the Superfluous Apostrophes. Just because I work in IT, doesn't mean I know everything technology related. It is a vast field. You work in IT, what phone should I get? You work in IT, do you know why this app isn't working? We're not a all help desk or some sort of phone tech support, I promise. I stopped telling people I'm a programmer with a degree in IT. I stopped after my fucking pest control guy stopped me and held me up for 30 minutes asking how his Mac got hacked. Like, dude, there are a million possible reasons why your computer is fucked up, I'm not gonna fix it in my goddamn driveway. My IT career has been mostly as a sysadmin and a network engineer. Hey, you're in IT, right? Yep. Can you show me how to do a obscure, advanced function in Excel that only accountants would know about or need in Excel? No. So are you really in IT? When you're adjusting the temperature on a thermostat, you're not changing the temperature of air that blows out. You're just changing how long it'll stay on for until it reaches that temp. Never given this any thought. Of course, that's how it works, but I didn't know it because it doesn't particularly matter to me. That disagreeing with someone's opinion isn't an attack on them. Or knowing the difference between a fact and an opinion. Just because someone doesn't always need their disability aids, that doesn't mean they're not disabled and faking it. Someone who needs a wheelchair to get around doesn't always mean they can't use their legs. They can still walk short distances. Part-time chair user here. When I started, I felt like everyone was looking at me, so I would do less. Despite the fact using the wheelchair allowed me more accessibility. Airplanes don't fall out of the sky when they lose an engine. A 747 can glide nearly 100 miles after losing all engines at cruise. Well, that is very reassuring. Airliners are required to be able to fly after losing one engine. If you lose an engine, you're good with the other ones. If a plane loses all engines, it will be able to glide for a decent amount of time, enough to find an airport and land. Unless you're over the middle of the ocean. If there's no airport after 15 minutes, you are legally allowed to crash. Gets job at NASA. All extended family asks as if moon landing was real. Pain. I like the implication that, assuming the moon landing was faked, NASA just spills the beans to anyone who is hired, as if it's in some sort of employee handbook. Maintaining a safe following distance is the easiest thing to do to avoid accidents, and yet most people aren't doing it. It's basically impossible to react in time to avoid an accident if you're following less than 2 seconds behind someone. It doesn't get you where you're going faster. The accident will always be your fault. And finally, 2 seconds is way longer than most people think. Most will count 1 second. Edit. My most upvoted comment is one that makes me feel less like I'm the only one that cares about this. I'll take that. Thanks, Reddit. An hour-long YouTube video about something does not mean that it is true. It could just mean that some crazy or stupid person posted an hour-long video about nothing and you are now dumber for having listened to it, and may God have mercy on your soul. Historic life expectancy is heavily skewed by high infant mortality. If you got past 4 or 5 years old, you had a good chance of making old age. People weren't just dropping dead at 35. It's the same thing with World War II. The average age of fighters for Germany was like 35. Weird age, right? Like, shouldn't it be 24 or something? Because towards the end of the war, both 16 and 60-year-olds were fighting. I have insomnia. No, I can't just think about nothing. Just go to bed earlier. No. Going to bed when you're not tired only makes the problem worse. Wi-Fi does not equal internet. I'm mostly telling this to my kids, lol. We frequently lose internet connectivity, but the Wi-Fi will be working fine. They will never understand. I give this will help, but telling people the Wi-Fi is the pipes and the water is the internet, I can only install the pipes, the utility has to send the water through, seems to help people get the message. How evolution works. Giraffes didn't stretch their necks. All the ones with short necks repeatedly died before reproducing. Evolutionary filters require mass death, and/or overpowering reproduction of a mutation. Also, science isn't a belief system. It's a method of repeatable testing. Edit. I'm glad there is so much interest in this subject. I'm getting lots of questions faster than I can answer, and I am far from an expert. I call on all of you to help spread some truthful answers to those that are genuinely asking. Thanks for all the upvotes. Your opinion does not carry the same weight as an expert who has spent their entire life working on an issue. Corollary: stop giving extra weight to the opinions of sports/movie/pop stars on things not related to athletics/showbiz/music. They likely don't know any more than you or me or the person brewing your coffee at Starbucks. I'm tired and I don't know why I'm tired. Do a sleep study. Most insurances cover it. I had the same issue. I constantly took naps. Turns out I woke up 34 times a night. The average person wakes up 2 to 5 times, because of my breathing. I got a CPAP and holy shit, my life changed. I started hawking sleep studies to everyone I knew. 3 of them also ended up with cops and have had the same results. Now I won't lie, a CPAP sucks and you have to get used to it, but waking up refreshed almost every day is a goddamn game changer. Wheelchairs aren't cheap, and cheap wheelchairs are not suitable for everyone, not suitable for hardly anyone in fact. It's not a choice of a 30,000 pounds wheelchair or a 300 pounds wheelchair, it's a choice between sitting in a chair that fits the needs of the user that enables them to be active in their life, or sitting in an unsupportive seat on wheels that physically harms the person until they're out of it again. My chair is extremely specialized for me with the seating package tilt, reclining, elevating foot pedals and lift packages plus more. My chair is just over 62k CND, then needs several thousand worth of maintenance a year, but only for 5 years, because at the 5-year mark the chair is no longer worth fixing, and start then process of getting a new 60k plus chair. In my 20 years, I have gone through over 200k worth of chairs as they get more expensive every time I need a new one. Don't get your mental health information from TikTok, Facebook, or self-proclaimed experts who aren't professionally licensed. I no longer offer a professional opinion anywhere outside of work, and that includes Reddit. I've learned that 95% of the time, people don't want to hear the facts, they just want a circle jerk about whatever reality they've conjured up in their heads, and if you correct them, they'll be pissed off and then it's a bad time for everyone. Signed, a psychiatrist. That chronic illness is chronic, like permanent, like forever. Still sick. Not getting better. Get it? Hope you feel better soon. Or bet you don't look sick. That type 1 diabetes isn't caused by your diet, and it cannot be cured. I hear cinnamon does wonders. Type 2 is a completely different disease, but what it has in common with type 1 is that it can't be cured with cinnamon. Stella Liebeck, the woman who won a lawsuit against McDonald's over hot coffee, had every right to sue them. It's been mocked so many times over the past 20 years, with people ridiculing this woman and making it out like she's some idiot who was surprised that coffee was actually hot and she was just attempting a money grab or something. In reality, the temperature of the coffee was fucking ridiculous and there was no reason for it to be hot enough to cause third-degree burns on her legs when she spilled it. She had to have multiple skin graft surgeries and spend 8 days in the hospital where she lost 20 pounds. After that, she needed additional care at home and was partially disabled for the next 2 years. She had no choice but to sue to cover the cost of her surgeries. This happened a long time ago, but to this day, I still overhear people mocking this case or making references to it in jest. To add to this, Liebeck didn't want to go to court. She just wanted McDonald's to pay her medical expenses, estimated at $20,000. McDonald's only offered $800, leading her to file a lawsuit in 1994. After hearing the evidence, the jury concluded that McDonald's handling of its coffee was so irresponsible that Liebeck should get much more than $20,000, suggesting she get nearly $2.9 million to send the company a message. Liebeck settled for less than $600,000. And McDonald's began changing how it heats up its coffee. I am not telling you what I did / why it happened / what happened as an excuse. It is an explanation. Why did you fall asleep during the movie? I was tired. Don't give me excuses. What the fuck do you want me to say? Edit. Thank you for the award. My hands shake a little. It becomes worse when I'm anxious, nervous, when people point it out and/or tell me to stop shaking. Another thing. I have went to the doctor, a specialist. He told me it's normal. People still try to misdiagnose me with Parkinson's. Worst part, it's always people not on the medical field. I have the exact same affliction. Tremors run in my family. Got made fun of a lot in grade school. I'm ginger and a lot of people asks me if all my hair is also ginger. My poor wife deals with this as well. What is it about red hair that makes people comfortable with asking about your pubes in public? When out in public, I am not babysitting my kids or giving mom a break. I am a dad and they are my kids. WTF is wrong with women over the age of 40 who say this shit to men? Edit. The support is welcomed. I've always hated that one. I was a divorced dad with 4 kids I had half the time, and you want to call that babysitting? F you. Not only am I a dad, but I'm the better parent. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for daily uploads. After you've done that, make sure to check out our other videos.